completely like.
That's the difference, right? Like,
what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 2 of the Tahoe build series. In this episode, we're going to be going over the sound deadening. This is going to be one of those steps that's not flashy by any means, but it changes everything. I'm sound deadening the Tahoe using a brand called Second Skin, and if you've ever driven an older truck, you know why this step matters so much. The goal here isn't to make it completely silent, but it's to make it feel more solid. These trucks pick up every vibration, every bit of road noise, and over time, it just wears you out. I picked up some Damplifier Pro. This stuff sticks right to the metal and kills all that. It's crazy how much of a difference it actually makes once it's all set and laid. It just sounds heavier and more put together. Then on top of all that, I also threw down a layer of Luxury Liner Pro, which is basically just an insulation layer. It helps block out heat and even cuts more of the noise. So when the truck's all done, it'll actually feel like a new cabin instead of a 17-year-old SUV. Again, this is not the most exciting part of the build, but it's the kind of thing that separates a quick cleanup from an actual rebuild. Once this is all said and done, we'll be one more step closer to where the Tahoe actually needs to be. Hopefully you guys do enjoy today's episode. This part took me a very long time, so I'm gonna try to cut this into a few pieces, but just so you know, all these parts over time, this took about a month to complete. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. If you do, drop me a like. Let's get right into episode 2.
Alright. Funny down there, good stuff. Let me lock that. This is my first time doing this. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 videos. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but we can start. So maybe starting in the middle and going outwards is the move. Okay. So like that. And they literally said it's a cut into it. Just like that. Oh, shit. Alright. Oh, I'm so surprised this is coming up. Start doing this side too. All right. Since I know this is definitely going to take a while, just wanted to update you guys on what we were doing. Maybe I included a few parts, I don't know. Maybe we just skip to this part of me explaining it. I'm going to skip to when we're a little further down the line.
So at this point, I'm going to explain to you guys where I was at this point in the process. And at this point, I had a better understanding of how to lay down the sheets. I was a couple sheets in, and I understood that I needed to pretty much roll the entire sheet out. I couldn't just, roll where I saw humps or little bumps. I also needed to make sure that I didn't leave any air bubbles and that I was rolling it the correct way. There's a way to do this, and it took me a couple sheets to figure that out. And I also understood that the bolt needed to go over the sheet, not the sheet over the bolt like you saw in the first clip. That's what this is all about. I'm learning, I'm making mistakes, and I'm sharing it with you guys. I said it in video 1, and I'm going to stay true throughout this entire series, showing you guys everything that I learned along the way. Maybe it'll help you if you're doing anything similar. So I hope you guys are enjoying the video up until this point. I'm going to leave it to it. I'm going to raise the music and go back into the video. If you guys are enjoying, leave me a like, sub for the next few parts. Follow me on TikTok. I hope to see you guys in the next clip.
All right, so we're done with one box. We just finished that. We're about halfway through. I think I'm gonna end up getting maybe one more layer, so it's about, you know, 4 sheets across about each time. Maybe, yeah, I would say about 4 sheets across each time. So maybe, I think maybe it'll change with this one a little bit, considering that we do have this big bump in the middle. So I think this one's gonna end up taking, because there's 2 over there. I'm probably gonna end up using 1 for this L right here, and then honestly I think 2, maybe 1.5 will cover this one, so it'll either be 5 or 4.5. And then since that seems to be a little taller, that might actually end up taking all 5. Not too sure though. But definitely just updating you, just a quick check-in. Diving into the second box, that's done. All right guys, well, I don't know if you could see from here, I'm pretty much done with the sound deadening. I covered up the front, got a few more patches, and I'm gonna put another layer over the part that I already told you guys about where I had all the rust. And I need to do this last wheel well. Only problem is I don't know if you guys remember, there was like something holding here for like maybe like a sub or a speaker or something. Somebody had some audio stuff in this truck before, and that's where, you know, you can see this is bent. It's all like, they drilled through it, put some screws in it. Now it's all rusting. So there's a little bit of rust up here. So the last thing I would want is this little bit of rust, the way it looks, very, very tiny, for this to ruin the entire project. So we've waited this long already, might as well just get it over with. Once again, we're gonna attack it with some rust encapsulator. You don't gotta do anything. Spray it on there, wait 24 hours. Alrighty guys, what's going on? Alright, we're officially gonna finish the sound deadening today. I have the little square back over there and this wheel well to do. Alright, I think this is as good as this spot's gonna get. Time to get the rest of it. Oh, alright, got that done. Let me turn on my, oh, camera's on, nope. Okay, so you can see here, done. Took a little bit, but completely like, that's the difference, right? Like, and I understand this is a more dramatic piece right here, but I mean, like, it's, that's the difference, right? Like, you already hear, like, there's less sound, like, these trucks are loud. And what I mean by loud, I'm not talking like they're loud with the exhaust and everything. They could be, but that's not the problem. It's a lot of road noise, and then when it rains, and I know I didn't do it this time, but once, because this headliner's not staying, you know, just y'all know what we do with these, right? Like, and if you don't like it, if you don't like the starlights, then that's personal preference, I guess, right? But once I do the headliner, I'm definitely gonna end up doing this again with the sound deadening. Jeez. I'm gonna put it up here, and then I did have 3 sheets left over. I do need to use one here, but I did end up putting more the can's right there, man. Rust encapsulator, there you go. I found more rust. I was taking off the weather strip, and below it was more rust. I had been seeing it this entire time, but I didn't think it was that bad. I thought I was gonna be able to go in there, maybe just like wipe it off. It wouldn't be too bad, but it ended up being like a whole patch. So I spray painted it that way, you know, it could do what we did here. And in the front, which we did finish the front, by the way. I know I was packing everything up. I totally forgot that I hadn't recorded anything, so sorry for all the extra mess, but we did do that piece, and we did this was here, took that off, and here are the bolts. I'm gonna put those on there. I don't know if I'm keeping that. I don't know if I'm just gonna bring the one from my truck or whatever, but that's why there's a lot of extra parts everywhere. But did this, did that, and like I said before, just waiting for this to dry, so I'm gonna end up doing this tomorrow. But it's looking good already, and you know, that's it. And then this one piece right here, I'll take this, I don't know if you guys can see it, I'll take this off, and then I'll lay another sheet right here. But for the sheets that I know I'm gonna need to cut one up definitely for this part right here and fill in these gaps, so that one sheet can probably fill in any gaps that are right here. I have like half a sheet I think I'm gonna use right here on this part, because let me take this off. Oh my lord. Okay, I'm probably gonna need to grab that. Okay. Just a bunch of parts everywhere, guys. a mess, but it's gonna start looking like a truck soon. So that piece right there, it's looking a lot bigger than I expected. I'll cover what I can, right? I have 3 sheets left, and if I can, I'll end up putting a sheet up here. But I'm not too worried about up here because there's gonna end up being a bunch of trim pieces that do end up coming up on here. I do want to get that. I want to make sure that, yeah, that, you know, I would hate to have everything covered and then you're like, oh, I hear noise right here. That would piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. I would tear it all apart and add more liner. You know, that's what I'm gonna do. But you know, that's it for now. Everything seems to be done, and just so we can, you know, get it going. This bad boy right here. This is the liner. This is the insulation. This is on the website it's called the luxury liner. There you go. Yeah, so this is gonna go in tomorrow. Might as well just leave it in there. Good lord, that is heavy. Okay, so we'll install that tomorrow. And this was the weather strip that I was talking about. I removed it. That's where I found the rest. But all right, guys, we are moving on. And tomorrow, liner. I was hoping to get that done today, but this is taking a lot longer than I'm anticipating and a lot longer than I was ever expecting for some sound deadening. But it is what it is. We're getting it done, and I would say the hard part's out of the way, because once we're done, we're pretty much just got to transfer everything in here. Like I've said before, it's a bunch of unbolting, a bunch of bolts. That's going to be the hardest part, is taking this dash apart, making sure everything goes over correctly and safely without cracking, breaking, all that good stuff. But aside from all that, it's just going to be a bunch of putting everything back together like a puzzle. You know, the trim pieces are all going to fit the same, so everything's just going to be, as soon as we take it off where it's coming from, we literally place it right back on to where it needs to be. So thank you guys for following along this far. If you have, if you guys are enjoying it and you haven't subscribed,